Everybody neat and pretty? Then on with the show! The Dr. Unicorn Show!
Obviously, the time continuum has been disrupted, creating this new temporal event sequence resulting in this alternate reality.
English, Doc.
I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!
Right here in River City, with a capital T and that rhymes with P and that stands for...
Stephanie Miller.
Great Scott!
Wubble-up-a-dub-dub! Buddy. You notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Stop it. This is hard. You want to try it? Get in the ring.
Dr. Unicorn, you should check him out on YouTube because
he's awesome.
He delivers. Dr. Unicorn delivers.
He does.
And now, Dr. Unicorn!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Please, won't you be my neighbor? That's right. Welcome back to the Dr. Unicorn Show, everybody. Everyone's favorite show about a lot of things, but mostly about making the world a better place. Can anyone guess what today's episode is about? That's right. A tribute to Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, who taught Dr. Unicorn to grow things in the garden of his mind. Did you ever try to grow anything in the garden of your mind? You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think and they'll grow. Dr. Unicorn loves to think, and Dr. Unicorn loves to make believe. Do you like to think and make believe? I bet you do. Did you know that 50 years ago this week, I believe February 19th, this past Monday, 50 years ago, the first episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood aired. 50 years. He just left an amazing legacy. And before we talk about how that show has influenced this show, I want to read one quote about art for you. I want to explore an idea that Dr. Unicorn has wrestled with most of his life. Because I want to believe that there are, in fact, things that are new and novel and unique. And what I'm about to read to you might seem to contradict that, but I want to build on it and I want to explore it with you guys anyway. Let's wrestle with it together. I found an article on brainpickings.org by Maria Popova. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that right. But she's writing about another artist, Nina Pally. I also apologize if I'm not pronouncing her last name right. Entitled, All Creative Work is Derivative. Maria starts by saying, I'm a big believer in creativity as a combinational force, a great big puzzle you construct from existing pieces in your mental pool of resources. So, are any of us actual creators of new content? Or are all of us just combiners and synthesizers of content that could be a new and unique package? Or is anything ever actually new? I don't know. But there's a great YouTube video in this by a filmmaker named Nina Pally, where she photographed archaeological artifacts from the Metropolitan Museum of Art and animated them to illustrate her point that all creativity builds upon something that existed before, and every work of art is essentially a derivative work. The same is true about the Dr. Unicorn Show. Many things have influenced the Dr. Unicorn Show. Many things. Many little influences here and there. And as the last 3 episodes that we've done have explored some of the audio clip and quotes and musical references that have influenced the Dr. Unicorn Show. If you haven't checked out those 3 episodes, please do. They were a lot of fun to make. But many actual shows have influenced the Dr. Unicorn Show. Of course, the Stephanie Miller Show, The Daily Show, The Young Turks, Pee-wee's Playhouse, California's Gold with Huell Hauser, and of course, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. So that's why we're celebrating him today. I found another article this week on popsugar.com, entitled 20 Mr. Rogers Quotes That Will Leave You in a Puddle of Happy Tears. And they certainly left Dr. Unicorn in a puddle of happy tears. I'll let you guys look it up and read them all for yourself. Of course, Mr. Rogers has hundreds of great quotes, but I just want to share a couple of them with you guys here today. The first one is one that Dr. Unicorn often thinks of when tragedies strike, and recently thought of, 2 weeks ago, with recent events that I'm going to talk about again in a minute here. And that is this, quote, "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.' To this day, especially in times of a disaster, I remember my mother's words, and am always comforted by realizing that there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in this world. It's important to remember that there are more good ones than bad ones, more people making good choices than bad ones, and more people that are willing to help than to harm." Just one more, because I don't want to be left in a pool of happy tears on this video. So, quote, "As human beings, our job in life is to help people realize how rare and valuable each one of us really is. That each of us has something that no one else has or ever will have. Something inside us that is unique to all time. It's our job to encourage each other to discover that uniqueness and provide ways of developing its expression." Great article, great 20 quotes. Check it out. That one was on popsugar.com. And the third and final article I want to share with you guys today was published in Salon on the 22nd by Melanie McFarland, entitled "Fred Rogers, Champion of Gentle Masculinity, has a Cure for the Gun Violence that Plagues Us." Great article. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you right now. I just want to read 2 paragraphs very quickly. Towards the end. "The truth, however, is that these weapons boost the possessor's sense of power. They are tangible tools of might and toxic masculinity, and an opposing force to speaking softly while being firm. Children learn about guns at an early age, come to associate them with manliness, and as such, covet them. This was true before Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood ever aired, and it remains true today. What we haven't seen, however, are other gentle men impressing upon young viewers at an early age, and boys in particular, that feelings are valid, and that they matter, and that they need to be expressed in a healthy way." So it's important to remember. It's important to remember that all of us were once children, and that to some extent all of us still are. It's important to remember that feelings are okay, and it's okay to feel them all. And we should celebrate them all through dance and song and words and poetry and computers and art and play. So in this crazy mixed up world, this crazy beautiful mixed up world that we live in, where sometimes we don't know how to most appropriately respond to different situations in the moment, or it's important to remember to always be kind. Always be kind. And it's important to remember that the questions are just as important as the answers. It's important to remember that even though many of us need to improve in so many ways, that each one of us is unique, and that you are perfect just the way you are. the world is a more special place because you are in it. And I'm talking to you, listening to this right now. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. We're growing inside, and when we wake up, stay woke, ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day. It's such a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new, and I'll have more ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. Jesus. We'll see you next time.